In this episode, Jim and I break down what is failure and what is a piece of advice that Jim learned early in his career that he wishes he wouldn't have taken and what he would have done differently. Tune in, stay focused, and I think you'll enjoy.
How you can be the greatest salesperson on the planet.
Welcome to the Rethink Sales Show. My name is Derek Kelly. I am joined by Jim Shorkey. And Jim, what is something early in your career that was a piece of advice that you were given, that you took, that you would think is completely wrong now? That was dumb. I should not have done that.
Wow. It's ironic. I was just thinking about that. And I don't know that I would really call it advice. It's still going on today. And the idea being that failure is somehow noble. And somehow it's part of the equation. Somebody said to me one time, this was in my older years, but said, you fail your way to success. I really don't like that. I think there's too much preaching going on about failure being the way to go, right? If you're failing, you're almost there. You don't fail your way to success. You succeed your way to success. And you fail your way to failure. And the idea would be that we have a failure and we learn from it, and then we move on and get better. But my idea is to pose a question to you in terms of why I think the advice is completely trash. Why don't we set out with a project to not fail? And my solution to that is to, number one, figure out what I want to do. Make that very clear. Napoleon Hill gives us this advice in Thinking We're Rich. Figure out what it is that I want to do. Get very clear about that. And then to figure out why I want to do it. What's my reason why? Does my reason why make me emotional, passionate? Does it give me the chills? Do I get teary-eyed? Whatever. Does my reason why make me cry? And then I seek expert counsel. Now, notice my choice of words. I want to be very clear in this. Seek expert counsel. What does that mean? Find somebody who has done what I want to do successfully. They got to have credentials. And have a conversation. And then copy the living crap out of that person. And it could be several people. And so the mistake that I made when my father died back in March 24th, 1996, is that I thought I knew it all. And I proceeded to run the business my way, according to what I thought I should do. And I messed up. And I wish I would have had somebody to talk to.
I said, don't take that advice, Jim.
To say, hey, here's what you should be doing. And I could have saved myself a lot of aggravation and gray hairs and wrinkles and all that. Now, the fact is, in that regard, I did learn that I made a mistake. That's why I was arrogant. And that's why arrogance is a very important part of my business model, was keep it very humble. Arrogance, I know from personal experience. But did I really need to experience that to understand it? I don't think so. I really don't. So my approach today is exactly what I just said. And I would rather teach you how to succeed than teach you how to recover from failure. Should we talk about recovery from failure? Of course we should. But I think the best way is to not fail to begin with. And so there is a right way to sell a car. And there is a right way to train for a marathon. And there is a right way to eat. And there is a right way to sleep. Why don't we learn the right way? And then if it turns out that it fails for us, we go back to expert counsel. And maybe we misunderstood a step, or maybe the step wasn't for us, or whatever. And we keep adjusting our plan to achieve the success that we want to achieve. But we don't set out to fail. Failure is a terrible thing. Like trial and error, right? You hear that all the time. You really do, trial and error. As if it's some great idea. It's a terrible idea. The trials take way too long. And in the period of the trial, you could go broke. The errors can be devastating. Make an error, you could go broke. Make two, you've just doubled your odds of going broke. Make 3, 4, 5, 10. There's a point where you just made too many errors. You're gone. Like dust in the wind. Great song. So trial and error is just not a good idea. Trial and error, bad idea. Failing, bad idea. So my advice today to Jim Shorkey, only to Jim Shorkey, is to figure out what it is that I want. By the way, it's right in Think and Grow Rich. I had this presentation tonight. As part of my idea about this presentation, you know what I did? I read Think and Grow Rich again.
Yeah, makes sense.
For the 164th time.
Wow.
And I read it with a green highlighter. I can show you. And I read it. I'm 69 years old. I've read this book 163 times. This is number 164.
And you're ready to learn something new.
I'm trying to learn something new. I'm telling you, if you want to be successful, get that book. Read it. Do exactly what Napoleon Hill tells you to do. And I would be shocked if it doesn't work. I will challenge you. Get the book. I think it's $10 on Amazon. Yeah. He interviewed 500 of the wealthiest people in America over a 25-year stretch. And basically the essence of the interview was, how'd you do it? And out of that, he distilled all those interviews down to 13 principles. And when I'm bankruptcy imminent. I messed up. I'm bankruptcy imminent. I'm going out of business. My dad runs his business for 22 years. I'm running it for a year. I'm bankruptcy imminent. And I remember very clearly I got the book, but I wasn't really doing the book. I had it, I read it, wasn't doing the book. I had a spiritual conversation with Napoleon Hill. He was long deceased at that time. And I said, Napoleon Hill, if you get me out of this mess, I will do exactly what you tell me to do. I will dot the I's and I will cross the T's. I will do everything exactly as you tell me to do it. And I did. And it's funny, in doing it, and this is the interesting part, people have asked me over the years, how did you do what you did? And my answer was, I don't really know. And now that I'm retired and we're doing a podcast, and all, I now have gone back. And what I did was I did exactly what Napoleon Hill told me to do, and it worked. And I don't really know why it worked.
Yeah.
Throughout the day here, I've been working on recovering from my stroke in different respects, and I've made a lot of progress. But do you know that one of the ways to recover from a stroke, I had a hemorrhagic stroke, 3 brain bleeds, shoulda, coulda, woulda died. Anyways, one of the things that I needed to do was to walk a lot, according to my surgeon, Dr. Rosellis. Walk a lot. That's what he said to me. I've done that. I've averaged, since the day I come home from the hospital, I've averaged 14,500 steps a day. That's a fact. I can prove it. But in addition to that, I've researched all kinds of things about what I can do for my brain, because my brain is damaged from the stroke. And one of the things I can do to reclaim my brain is to do novel things, okay? This is novel.
Yeah.
You're asking me questions. I don't know what you're asking me. Have I ever known?
No.
I told you I didn't want to know, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to go speak in front of a group of people, None of them I know except for one person. I don't know these people. And I'm going to challenge them during this presentation, if they have a question, to ask it right on the spot. It's not a speech, it's a presentation. And do you know that challenge of me having to answer a question like I'm doing with Derek here today is really good for my brain. And when I'm doing that, my brain is on fire. And there's this process called neurogenesis. This is not medical advice, by the way, folks. I'm not a doctor, clearly. I'm an old worn-out car salesman. That's all I am. But I'm just trying to pass on what I've learned. So neurogenesis is growing new neurons in my brain, rewiring my brain. And believe it or not, this right now, this is auto-suggestion. What am I viewing? What am I listening to? Who am I hanging out with? Today I'm hanging out with Derek, Kelly, and Marshall. And what are my actions? And am I congruent in terms of my stroke recovery? Am I congruent with all the things I need to do to recover? And I'm telling you, I am. 164 readings in preparation for this presentation. And I can't believe what I learned. I wanted to bring my book up. I forgot to bring it up, but I could actually read it. It's amazing. The book is amazing, but it really is all about me convincing me that I can. That's it.
Yeah. Thank you for answering that question so well, in the sense of you had this piece of advice. Oh, failure's great. Embrace failure.
No, it's terrible.
And just how you didn't want to just accept, oh, I'm just going to fail a lot and that's going to be okay. I'm sure when failure happened, you're like, okay, how do I get better?
You got to,
right?
absolutely.
But you weren't like, oh, I'm going to fail here. Failures come in and say,
Here's one you've heard. I'm sorry I interrupted you, but
yeah,
fear of failure. Fear the living crap out of failure. It's terrible. Fear is a thing that is in our bodies that is really good. There's a lion out there. I'm scared of the lion. Don't go outside, Jim. Fear. Fear keeps you away from the edge of the building that's 40 stories up. Fear keeps you away from doing stupid crap that might take you out. Fear is a very good thing that we need to embrace and use it to our advantage. So if I really do fear failure, and I do, what is the antidote, or what is the answer maybe, to that fear? Figure out a way to avoid failure.
Right.
Rather than love it, rather than hug it, rather than kiss it, I'm not going to do it. And so I study failure as well. And when you start studying failure, you'll see the clues. Jim Rohn said forever, successful people always leave clues. Unsuccessful people always leave clues. My dad used to tell me, if you're on time, you're late. That's great advice. Failures don't get that. They're supposed to be either 9 o'clock. They show up at 9 o'clock in 3 seconds. Now, let's show up early so that if we do get the red light, we do get behind a school bus, we're not in a panic. And even though we don't get there exactly early, we're still earlier than the deadline of 9 o'clock. That was kind of, my dad hated that about me. If we were meeting at 9 o'clock, I got there at 9. It's like the second hand was coming right to ding, 9. And I'm like, I blow through the door like a nut and ding. And he never liked that about me. And he was right, by the way. And I had to learn that. Failure is just not something to be loved. It's just not. You don't fail your way to success. You don't fail your way to success. You fail your way to failure. You can only succeed your way to success. And so I'm going to work on succeeding my way to success. And when I do have those things that happen that indicate failure, that's when I'm going to pivot and figure out a way out of that mess. And I had my failures.
yeah.
But I just learned not to embrace them. I don't know.
No, it's a great answer because you're saying when failure comes, we need to work on it.
Oh, yeah.
But why plan, tomorrow I'm going to fail at this and this, then why try it again?
And it's not okay. Right. Failure's not okay. It can happen, yes, and therefore it is part of the journey. Plus, seriously, getting the flu is part of your journey too. Getting COVID, that's part of your journey. Really? Let's figure out what we can do to avoid COVID.
Thank you, Jim. Thank you, guys. We would love to hear from you. Give us feedback. Jim and I are just talking through failure, right? What's a piece of advice that he heard that he followed and wishes he didn't? He shared that with you. Let us know in the comments if there's any advice that you've been given that you're like, man, wish I wouldn't have done that 10 years ago. And how can you learn from that today? So thank you, Jim. Thank you, guys. We'll see you on the next episode.
Thank you.
Look at my notes here, Marshall.